the Congress, once the Senate ratifies a treaty.
What would it matter anyway? They ignore the Constitution.
Treaties
I have a lawyer here.
Considered to be on equal standing as statutes. If you're going to make something criminal, then there are other constitutional issues with that, which is the reason why they sign, or not why they add all those clauses for some of them. For like the drug treaties, they added clauses that said that they have to be ratified by the countries.
Sounds like jail.
Yeah, and again, like I said, this is how we've become the prison capital of the world, and it's not just in one state; it's in almost every state. I mean, again, New Hampshire's like number third best in the country.
Yeah, well, that's not saying much. You know, you're still comparing cancers right there. Hey, AJ, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate it. That's AJ from inside the prison there in Jackson, Michigan. The toll-free number here, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, welfare. We got that on the way. Your calls and thoughts also welcome about what you want. Live Labor Day edition. This is Free Talk Live.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. SaveATPurse.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You know, a lot of libertarians got to know Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times bestselling author and has written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. Since September of 2013, so 5 years now, Tom's been putting out his Tom Woods Show every single weekday, which means he's racked up about 1,200 episodes so far. You can go and tune in over at TomWoods.com. Find his show in your favorite podcatcher by searching for Tom Woods Show. He's had some great guests, including Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more. Topics including the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. Once again, that's TomWoods.com. As we continue here, it is the Labor Day edition of Free Talk Live, which, by the way, Mark, I guess that marks an anniversary for us, doesn't it? Here,
Oh, that's right. We moved here on Labor Day, didn't we?
That's right. Labor Day weekend, we packed up quickly after what was then our Saturday night show, and we didn't have a Sunday show at that time.
I love our dedication to getting this show on the air at the time, because I don't think you could have gotten me to bend over backwards to get Free Talk Live on the air again in 48 less 3, 45 hours is what we did. We picked up and moved house to a new place in order to get on the air in 45 hours.
We had most of the truck packed, but we didn't pack the studio until last. So we did our show Saturday night. We didn't even announce that we were coming up here. We did our show late Saturday night, drove, basically it was a 26-hour drive straight from Florida with no real stopping except for gas and occasional grab a bite to eat. And we made it here in about 26 hours, passed out after cleaning up what was a very messy house. And I think you were staying at the house at that time, Mark, if I recall correctly. You were actually in here for a few weeks because your wife didn't come up with you at the time. And then Monday, we didn't quite get everything together and piece together on air, so we missed the Monday show, and then we were back on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the Monday show was supposed to be on, but the house was just such a mess.
Just wasn't ready. Yeah, we couldn't get it together. So here we are. That was 2006.
Turns out renters are very bad at cleaning up after themselves.
So that's 12 full years now here, Mark, in New Hampshire. We begin our 13th. And you can join us. Obviously, the real life migration continues here. Melanie, how many years you been here now? 4?
3 in November.
3 in November. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So if you want to join the fun, you want to join the largest liberty migration of people coming from not just across the United States, because Melanie came from Louisiana. Mark, you and I came up from South Florida. And
you call Sarasota South Florida?
Yeah. Mid-center Florida.
I call it the Sun Coast.
Okay, the Sun Coast of Florida.
Or Tampa Bay area.
So we came up from there. People coming from as far away as Russia and elsewhere. So
we can't beat that.
Go and learn more.
But he did not drive a U-Haul.
No.
What was it? A U-Haul, Ryder, budget?
You're asking me what we drove up here?
What did we drive up here?
It was a Penske truck.
Penske, okay.
That's because they had at the time they had a whole brand new fleet, and U-Haul's fleet sucked. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, U-Haul's fleet does not suck anymore. I can tell you that.
Oh, is that right?
I rented a van to move house just recently, probably 2 months ago. Well, Memorial Day. You do the math. And that van was the first time it had ever been driven.
Wow. Yeah, ours was kind of like that.
I think there was first time it probably had been driven by a customer. It had 37 miles on it.
Wow. So, yes, we're here now. It's great. If you love liberty, if you're a voluntarist, if you're an anarchist, if you're a libertarian and you care about freedom, you really ought to do what we did and make the move, make the migration to New Hampshire, one of the freest places on the planet, and it's only going to get better as more libertarians come here and get active. Because it's one thing to just move to a better place. It's another thing to actually try to make that place even better than it was when you arrived, which is ultimately what the goal is here of the liberty migration that's been going on. You can go to 101reasonsfilm.com. You can learn more about it there. There was a couple here that I met recently in the Keene area who they've been kind of keeping their heads below the radar. They're just, kind of moved and they're working and getting settled in. They got a new kid and everything, but they came out to a cryptocurrency meetup recently, and they said that the 101 Reasons film was a major linchpin in their decision to make the move to New Hampshire. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's still chock full of good information. It's about 4 years old, I think, at this point. I think it came out in 2014, the end of 2014. So, but still, just, it really is a great overview of the community that is present here in New Hampshire, the community of libertarians, like-minded, freedom-loving people who are doing a variety of different things, everything from political action to on-the-ground cryptocurrency activism that we see a lot happening here in Keene and out in Portsmouth as well. There's just so much to tell you about. We don't have time for it all. So go to 101reasonsfilm.com and you can learn more there. As we go to the phones, to the fun here on this live Labor Day edition of Free Talk Live, Abel is up next in Salina, Kansas. Hello, Abel.
Hey, gentlemen, how are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, we've got a lady here too. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, I'm formerly of New Hampshire. I used to live over in Nashville. I was a Free State Project member. I had to come back to Kansas for family reasons.
Oh, no.
And just, it sucked. It really did. It sucked terribly. But
is everything okay now?
Well, yeah. Well, it's okay with the family, but
Good.
Unfortunately, I'm having to put to use a lot of the skills that I saw and learned as far as protest to work here. You see, I got here and I realized that first and foremost, Kansas sucks. There's a lot here.
I'll take your word for it. I've never been.
There's a lot left here to be desired. But when I hit the ground here in
didn't they cut taxes heavily in Kansas a few years ago?
They did, but it favors a lot of the corporate aristocracy that kind of lives here, and while corporations, I have no problem with them necessarily. The way that they interact with government here leaves a lot to be desired. They all practically are government here, and as we know, government's essentially a weapon, and so they use that weapon. They use it regularly. What I found here when I got to Salina was that the music scene, the art scene, the things that I loved about New England just weren't here. And so we went to work trying to create that here. We helped to form a foundation. We received ownership of this huge Masonic temple. It's 160,000 square feet of granite and marble building. Has a huge theater in it, and we went to work trying to create first of all to save and endow this Masonic temple, and also to try to create a space where the arts and humanities and entrepreneurship could take root and really take off. We have a fully licensed commercial kitchen here. We have all of this space available for people to come in and create their own kind of new business here. We wanted to set us up kind of as a fertile space for new business to grow and kind of seed the downtown area, which was stagnating. It sucked. Well, what we found here is that as we became more and more successful, more and more people took issue with it. And
they took issue with you having this creative space kind of thing?
Yeah, they took issue with us having this creative space. They took issue with us having, welcoming anybody aboard to do practically anything they wanted.
What was the objection?
What were the complaints?
Yeah, I want to hear more if you can. Stand by, Abel. We'll bring you back here. He's trying to create a place where people can create and make music or do business or whatever, and somebody didn't like it. Well, of course, you're always going to upset somebody, but I'm curious as to know what their objections were. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number here, 855-450-3733.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in here toll free. Take control of the airwaves here on the live Labor Day edition of the program. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3232. 3733. Melanie is a accountant by profession. That is what she does normally, but when she's here on Monday night, she's doing Free Talk Live. Outside of that, she's helping people like you out. If you've got a small business or maybe you just need some help with your personal taxes, she can handle that. She can do bookkeeping for you as well, and it's surprisingly affordable. Mark, you said you hired Melanie to handle your family's taxes.
That's correct. Paid for herself in the first go-around.
That's a pretty big endorsement.
Right, and that's without planning. So if you...
What do you mean without planning?
Well, she does tax planning, and if you get her on board, I expect to save more this year.
So if you can plan with Melanie, that helps? Is that the idea? What's the difference between just doing somebody's taxes and planning their taxes?
Well, so if I'm just doing somebody's taxes, either because they don't really have that much going on or because they're not hiring me to do any planning, I have less information. I'm dealing with stuff that already happened, so there's not a whole lot I can do about it. And then I just see what deductions you qualify for and file it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing tax planning, then we're dealing with stuff that hasn't happened yet, so I can tell you things that would be beneficial for you to do that will end up saving you money.
So if you want to get in touch with Melanie and have a real anarchist helping you with your taxes and taking care of that crap for you, she'll do it, and she'll hopefully save you some money. So head on over, or get you more money back. So head on over to her website.
Completely legally.
tax.freetalklive.com. That's TAX, tax.freetalklive.com. You can get in touch with her directly through her site there, tax.freetalklive.com. As we go back to Abel, he's calling us from Salina, Kansas, said he moved to Kansas, sadly, due to some family issues. He was in New Hampshire as a libertarian migrant, but moved to Kansas due to family issues. But while there in Kansas, you started up some sort of a, I don't know, how would you describe it again? Like a community space, or can you give kind of a brief description of what it is?
Yeah, we started a foundation because we realized that there's this huge building in Salina, Kansas. It sits in the very center of the building. It's an old Masonic temple. It's 6 stories. It's this huge monolithic structure. It looks like a big government building. And these Masons had gotten a financial fix. They were about to have to sell the building, and there was a developer that wanted to turn it into an event space. Well, we talked them into donating it to our foundation. There were several of us that came together to help form this foundation. Mary Landis was our executive director. She was the one that really kicked the whole thing off. But my wife and I, Cheryl, being successful business managers and having a lot of multi-unit management experience, came on board and essentially took over all of the business management duties here at the Salina Innovation Foundation after the Masons donated the building to us. They gave it to us for $10.
Wow.
Because they wanted to see it saved as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave us this 160,000 square foot granite and marble building. We in turn gave them 99 years for the top floor.
It's called what? The Salina Innovation what?
Foundation.
And you gave the Masons the top floor after you promised to sort of refurbish it?
Yeah, we told them we'd take care of the building. They wanted to maintain their Masonic lodges on the top floor, so we gave them the top floor for 99 years. We got the rest of the building to do with what we want. This huge theater that seats, 1,200 people,
wow,
1,300 people.
We've
got a banquet hall that we could sit, 400 or 500 people in. We set up a wellness center down.
How long
on the
ago
lower
was
level.
this? When did this start? When did you start this project?
It's taken us less than a year. I started in February of last year, and we've been going hard at it ever since. Just since February, we've taken our small event venue, the Gargoyle Room, and we've actually started running in the black. Which is absolutely unheard of for a new business.
After a year?
Yeah,
that is unheard of.
Yeah.
So you're having events, you're renting out space to people who want to create an event, or innovators who want to maybe incubate a business or something like that.
Yeah.
And so you said you'd encountered some difficulty, some people around town are talking crap. What's going on?
Well, what happened is the artist community here did not support any of our initiatives with arts and humanities, and actually started working against us. And so what we've experienced here is last Friday, they talked our board and our executive director into essentially canning us on the spot. And so what they've done is they sent armed guards to come and get me while I was roasting coffee. We also roast coffee here.
Hold on.
We call it temple
They
roast
talked
coffee.
your executive board into firing you?
Indeed, and what they did is they did it in a very underhanded and dastardly way. They sent armed guards up to grab me, take me down, give me a spiel about how I was too aggressive and how I had too much drive for profit and revenue, and essentially gave me 2 hours to clear out. Now, we had moved into the temple. We had moved our entire household into the caretaker's apartment that exists here in the temple. We were completely dependent on them for funding, for housing, for everything that we needed. In return, we worked for them 24/7, 365 since last February.
So this, just to clarify something here, so this is not just your project. There's a board of directors involved. I mean, did you create this, or were you hired by this group?
We were part of the creation of this. We were part of a group that came on board before the 501c3 was granted. When the initial board, you see, I was running a small, essentially a community dojo here. I was teaching swordsmanship when the principal of Salina Innovation Foundation came on board. We kind of came here at the same time. I was in the basement level. She was on the second floor, and we both realized at the same time what was happening. And we kind of came together, merged to create this thing, this Salina Innovation Foundation. In fact,
so what's your role? Are you the executive, or were you the executive director? What was your title with the...
I'm the Chief of Operations and Business Development Director. I'm also the maintenance man, the electrician, the plumber.
But now you've been ousted by a move of the board to favor some group of artists that complained?
Essentially, yeah. My wife and I, she was the Events and Spaces Director here. She's also the Social Media Director. She does all the social media here, all the advertising. What we did was we moved in here. There was a caretaker's apartment on the ground floor. There used to be these big steam boilers that required 24-hour support. And so there was an apartment here. And so as part of our compensation, we were given the apartment to live in since we were here all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, and it's only 500 square feet. It would cost like $600 out on the market right now. But it was part of what we were promised. And, just a small part, but part of the compensation we were promised.
Did you have a contract?
Unfortunately, it's a verbal agreement, but it is documented in the meeting minutes.
Well, they could probably still fire you even if you had a written contract.
Sure, they could fire you if you had a written contract, but at least you'd have a contract that you could actually go to, and there would be terms in there. So, are you on the outs? Have you already had to leave the apartment?
Well, that's the thing is we haven't, because legally, they had to give us a 30 days notice rather than send armed thugs up to escort us out the building. And so we're still here. The Masonic Temple Board, who actually approved our residence here, because the Salina Innovation Foundation did not own the building at the time when we moved in, had to approve our residence here. And so there's a record within their minutes of our being allowed to live here. And
so what's your plan? What are you going to do?
Well, right now we are trying to drum up as much community support and let people know what's going on here. What happened is they came to us, told us that we were creating something that was not within the vision of what they had hoped it would be, and ran us out the door essentially at the end of the barrel of a gun with these armed guards. And told us that we had to leave. And that
so wait, are you trying to change the mind of the board of directors in the next 30 days?
We are trying to change the mind of the Masonic Temple Board, who still will retain control of the building if it's shown that the Salina Innovation Foundation has failed.
Abel, best of luck, man. There's a lesson to be learned here. We'll tell you about it coming up.
On August 24th, 1992, 20 eager Cardozo law students filed into a small room to kick off the first day of Barry Scheck and Peter Newfield's Innocence Project clinic. After years as public defenders in New York City, Barry and Peter started the clinic to review cases of people in prison who could prove their innocence using DNA testing. What they thought was a few hundred cases turned out to be thousands, and a clear sign that the system needed repair. At the time, no one imagined that Barry's and Peter's vision would evolve into a national organization with the power to reform the criminal justice system 26 years later. Since that August day in 1992, there are now 565 Cardozo Law School clinic students trained, and the Innocence Project has celebrated 208 exonerations. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Get relief for your neck or back pain when you search Amazon for Sunshine Pillows, heating wraps, and pads, often listed as an Amazon choice.
Why take another pill?
Now, from Sunny Bay and by customer demand, we introduce our extra long neck heating wrap, a complete wrap, wide and hands-free, and brings fast relief to those who suffer from neck or back pain.
You can easily find Sunshine Pillows on Amazon.
Or search Amazon for our new Sunny Bay disposable heat pads. Or look for Sunny Bay heated neck wraps for relief from back pain to menstrual pain and cramps.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
See why our company, Biomed DB Design, has a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. Just go to Amazon.com and search Sunny Bay, or call us 253-678-1361.
Following this afternoon's arrest of Congress on the charge of over 23 million counts of manslaughter, our reporter spoke to Mark Westnick from Savannah, Georgia, just one of the many Americans that has lost a loved one due to the legislative branch's criminal negligence.
Because of Congress, my 23-year-old son died 2 years ago in Afghanistan. My nephew, he lost his leg in Iraq in 2006, and my brother died in Vietnam in 1969. Congress killed my family.
Defense attorneys for the now incarcerated 538-member group have dismissed the claims made by Westnick and other victims and released a statement saying their client has been, quote, a pillar of the national community for over 200 years and completely innocent of any and all wrongdoing. Keep checking theonion.com for more as this story develops.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free and join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, our Discord on-air call-in line rooms are available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. And Free Talk Live is brought to you by the Free Talk Live AMP program. We are beginning our new plan of saying thanks directly to our amplifier. So thanks going to, and sort of we're going roughly in chronological order. It's hard to really get
the people who started amping.
The AMP program's been around since 2005, so
right, it's very difficult for us to put that together.
Basically, I'm really more going on who's been registered on the website for the longest of the amplifiers, and that's sort of roughly going to be the order in which they will come. But only the amplifiers who have indicated they want to be public will be included here, because not everybody wants that.
Yeah, libertarians are kind of privacy-minded.
So thank you to Chris Grigio, who is a gold-level amplifier. He's given $10 a month.
For a long time.
$10 a month for, probably more than a decade.
Thank you, Chris.
So there you go.
Don't think we don't know.
You can become a Free Talk Live amplifier over at amp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month if you want. Chris is doing 10, but $5's all we're asking for, and you can do it with credit card, you can do it with PayPal, you can do it with Bitcoin, BTC, over at amp.freetalklive.com. And of course, you get the perks. The perquisites, the access to the special bonuses that only amplifiers get, like the amp-only chat or the supporters chat rooms on Discord, and then there's also the amp-only Facebook group that a lot of people are still active in, and other things as well. Go and get all the details over at amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, I wanted to talk a little bit more about our last caller, Abel, who had sounds like a very frustrating time after creating what sounded like a pretty amazing space. They had taken over a Masonic building with the consent of the Masons in Salina, Kansas.
Right, they didn't need the big building.
And we are, by the way, we do have a radio affiliate there in Salina, KINA AM 910. They only carry us on weekends, so they're not hearing this discussion tonight, which is too bad. But anyway, so they took over this 6-story building. They lived in a small apartment inside the building as they were kind of the managers, basically, of the property. They started to create this, artist space, this entrepreneurial space.
A fencing dojo.
Yeah, all kinds of different things were going on there. It's a
Putting
huge
on shows
facility
in their big theater.
Right. I mean, it sounded pretty amazing. And then all of a sudden, some apparently local artists got all upset at them for some reason, and that wasn't really clear what their reason was.
Jealousy, perhaps? We don't know.
They might be commies, and the people running the building, the folks that got kicked out, were libertarians, so who knows? Maybe it was a political disagreement. But either way, they went to the board of directors and managed to get the executive director basically kicked out, or the COO, I think he described himself as, but the person in charge of, ostensibly, he thought he was in charge of the building, who unfortunately was there on a verbal agreement, which is mistake number one. Now, Melanie, you pointed out that even on a written agreement, there's going to be some sort of termination clause, obviously.
Well, right. So just because living in an apartment was part of your compensation package doesn't mean you get to live there forever. If they fire you, you have to quit living there.
Obviously.
I'm not really kind of seeing what the issue is.
Well, I mean, come on. Wouldn't you recommend somebody have a written agreement? If you're going to take over a management
of course,
operation.
But that doesn't mean you're not going to have to move out.
I don't think he was saying that. What I was pointing out
what
is.
he was pointing out here was that they attempted to kick him out of the building with 2 armed guards and say, time for you to go. Hey, I live here, and you've got to give me 30 days. And that's a fair thing, I think, to ask in any situation.
Well, if you're
trying to kick an employee out, I mean, it's fishy as it could possibly be if you're trying to kick them out of the building. If you need armed guards, you need a pretty good excuse as to why you need to kick somebody out. So I kind of side with him in that way. I do agree with you.
Well, we
Ian.
don't know the other side of the story.
We don't. I don't. I'm only saying I side with him on that much. But I agree with you. Contracts are always a good idea. But another thing to point out is that contracts, when you write them up without an attorney. Yep. When you write them up with an attorney, they are a jumbled mess of crap that nobody understands, and they cost a lot of money. When you write them up on your own, you forget things, and experience teaches you that you need them.
Yep.
So at this point, experience has taught him that he needs one. He shouldn't ignore that teaching, but at the same time, when you write one up in the future, don't worry, one of your contracts won't have a clause in it for a thing that goes on.
You'll forget something, sure, that's true. But one thing's for sure, if you don't write things down, you're bound to forget, right? Like if you have certain terms of an agreement between somebody, and then you're like, oh crap, was I supposed to pay you on the 15th or the 14th or
every 2 weeks or twice a month?
Yeah, I mean, just these things come up. Then you just look at the lease. You look at your employment agreement. You look at whatever the agreement was. Oh yeah, that's right. Problem solved. There's no more question about that.
Right.
So this is basic
rule number one. Just because something seems clear at this moment does not mean that it will seem clear at all times.
Right. Basic rule number one is have your agreement written down. And there, of course, will be terms on how that agreement should be exited, and that's fine. But the other mistake here, of course, and I don't blame anybody for making this because people don't know a better way of organizing, is... And I wish I could remember the exact phrasing. Somebody once said, and I don't know who to attribute it to, but you want to destroy an organization, turn it over to a board.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are some very effective boards of directors out there that do a great job, and, God bless you. But
most of them are either a rubber stamp or they are arduous, intentionally arduous to sit through. Many organizations have found out that they can hornswoggle the board by, I don't know, putting the financial statement out 600 pages and giving the board a few days to read it before the annual board meeting, and then nobody's going to ask any questions. And they hire board members with the intention that those people will just rubber stamp everything that they do. So, whenever I get asked to be on a board, I'm very careful because all you're doing is asking to waste my time when you try to put me on a board most of the time.
It sure does feel that way to me in my experience being on boards as well. Usually what you have is the visionary, right? You've got the creator, the visionary, the person who started a thing. I like to think of the local private homeless shelter when I talk about this particular story or this idea. It was created by one guy.
Yep. Don
Primrose. I actually saw him this weekend at Music Fest in Keene. And one guy who was a construction guy, like that was his thing. His business was construction. Right. But he cared about homelessness, and he wanted to do something about it. He wanted to create a place where
he knew that he could solve the problem, and it seemed like nobody else could.
Well, there were government homeless facilities in town, but they
but the government homeless facilities were part of the problem. Right. They were telling people, "Here's your home," and a lot of times the homeless people weren't getting up till noon or whatever. They didn't have rules. Rules
stay
that
forever.
Sort of promoted people getting jobs, whereas the 100-night shelter that Don Primrose put together said, we're only open the 100 coldest nights of the year. We're only open until 7:30 a.m., then out on the street with you, unless it's like a blizzard or something, then they can stay open longer. But then it's out on the street with you to go look for a job.
Correct.
They did everything with the intention that you will get back on your feet, not that you will need the government to lean on for the rest of your life.
Now, at some point, and Don, by the way, kind of did some civil disobedience when he opened the 100-night shelter. The city was trying to tell him, no, you can't open. You don't have our permission slip. You don't have the sprinkler system that we're demanding that you install or whatever. He just went right ahead and opened the doors anyway. And you know what? The city didn't do a damn thing about it.
Yeah.
So it was awesome when that happened. And I'm not saying 100 Nights has fallen very far from its founder's vision. I'm not saying that. But at some point, they brought in a board of directors. And at some point, he left. Now, that's obviously was what he wanted to do. I'm not saying they pushed him out. But that stuff can happen where you bring in a board of directors and you think you know these people, or you did know them, but then they change out over time and they change into other people who you don't know.
Right.
And they don't necessarily share the exact same vision for this thing that you created. And before you know it, after years, it has become a completely different organization that doesn't represent exactly the same values that it once did. 100 Nights,
a board is also a bunch of people who are, in most cases, not invested at all in the organization.
Like they haven't put any money into it, you mean?
They're really, like, we'd like your opinion on this or that. Well,
there are some boards that require an investment from the board of directors.
They should be financially, and they should be putting time in whatever the organization is.
Let's go to Veronica. She's in Pennsylvania. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Veronica.
Hi, how's it going?
You're on the air. Go ahead.
I am, okay. All right, so let's talk about college. So, like, college just started, right? And it, like, all that work and all that stress, like, it's just too much, right? Like, don't you believe that?
Well, I've never been
college is too much stress
to like a college. So we'll talk to you about it, Veronica, and you can tell us that. I know, Melanie, you were pretty stressed during college. You coped by drinking heavily, if I recall correctly.
It wasn't really about college.
No? I thought, okay, law school, that's not college, not the same thing?
University.
Yes, I was drinking, but I wasn't drinking because I was in college.
Okay, more coming up here in moments. And we'll see what Veronica has to say. She sounds like she's frustrated with college. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for rejuvenation. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, medical, MEDICAL.com, or call our order line 888-212-8871.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, September 2nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,201 per ounce. Zen is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,281. Antiwar.com reports in a statement issued on Friday, the U.S. State Department has announced that the Trump administration is fully defunding the UN Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, the body providing aid to Palestinian refugees. The administration is citing the UNRWA's recognition of in excess of 5 million Palestinian refugees and the belief that this number will continue to rise. It comes amid recent U.S. efforts to strip most Palestinians of refugee status and a demand that the UNRWA cap the number of allowed Palestinian refugees in the world to 500,000. U.S. officials say they believe this is unsustainable and that the funds provided in January will be the last funding the U.S. provides to the UNRWA. This was cheered by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has long demanded that the UNRWA shut down outright. This is just the latest in a series of Trump administration moves to cut aid to the Palestinians. The rest of the international community does not appear to share the U.S. position, and Germany has already announced it intends to boost funding to the UNRWA to sustain aid efforts. The U.S. is withdrawing $290 million, which will be spent elsewhere by the State Department. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports California's legislature passed a bill late on Friday that could help the utility Pacific Gas and Electric Company, PG&E, avoid potential crippling liabilities for wildfires that ravaged northern parts of the San Francisco Bay Area last year. The bill, passed 29-4 in the Senate and 45-10 in the state assembly, requires approval by Democratic Governor Jerry Brown. Some fires in the north of the Bay Area were caused by trees toppling into or making contact with PG&E power lines, according to a report released by state officials in June. Analysts estimate PG&E, the state's biggest utility, could face several billions of dollars in liability as a result. Democrat State Senator Bill Dodd said the bill was needed to spare customers from big increases in energy costs. He added, without it, ratepayers will be left holding the bag and communities will needlessly suffer. The fires killed 46 people in blazes across at least 245,000 acres, including subdivisions in the city of Santa Rosa. In California, utilities are responsible for fires traced to their equipment, whether whether or not they are complying with regulations. PG&E faces about 200 lawsuits on behalf of 2,700 plaintiffs stemming from last year's fires. If signed by the governor, this would soften that standard by having regulators determine liability based on whether equipment was reasonably maintained and operated. It would also let utilities issue bonds to help pay damages, with a surcharge on ratepayers' bills helping to cover interest payments. Critics say the legislation is a bailout, but Dodd has said another bankruptcy by PG&E could be worse for ratepayers than a surcharge on their bills. PG&E faced bankruptcy during California's energy crisis in 2001, emerging 3 years later with customers left to pay higher rates to help repay $13 billion owed to creditors. A second bankruptcy could potentially lump victims of last year's fires in with PG&E's creditors, casting uncertainty over the timing and size of recoveries. Dodd, who represents parts of Northern California hit by last year's wildfires, told Reuters, "You've got a lot of investors like hedge funds circling like vultures. What would happen to the North Bay fire victims?" Consumer advocates have strongly lobbied against the bill. Reuters reported in August that PG&E hired law firm Will, Gotzel and Manges LLP to explore debt restructuring options, including breaking the firm up to let one division file for bankruptcy. PG&E said it will not be financially sustainable without changes to state policy. PG&E reported second quarter net losses of $984 million compared with net income of $406 million a year earlier. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Hailing it as the industry's most innovative product to date, global cosmetics brand Maybelline released its long-awaited Ideal Woman Rubber Mask this week, a thick latex facial covering worn over the head in lieu of makeup.
By simply yanking it over your face, you can instantly achieve a fresh look that conforms to Western ideals of beauty. Essentially, you can just roll out of bed, stretch the latex urethane rubber beauty mask over your natural face, and boom, you're ready to start your day. Forget concealer, powder, blush, or mascara. Now you can achieve a look that adheres to the conventional standard of feminine perfection in seconds.
It's incredible. You immediately see the difference. The very first time I tried it on, my pores were minimized, my skin tone was more even, and all of the idiosyncratic little wrinkles, physical imperfections, and tiny irregularities that make my face unique were erased.
I don't spend a lot of time on makeup anyway, but now all I need to do is yank this thing over my head, and that's it. I'm conventionally attractive. I mean, this gives me so much more time to find an outfit that makes my body look thin and socially acceptable.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. We are here on Labor Day. We'll take your calls and thoughts about whatever you want to discuss. Here in the studio with you tonight, beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. On the way, though, Mark, you wanted to talk about a shocking statistic around young people, children, I guess, in the United States, and how many of their families are accepting some sort of government welfare. We'll get into the story here in a few moments, but first, your calls and thoughts come first. We go back to Veronica in Pennsylvania. Veronica, you were calling regarding some frustrations with college. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, hi. So like I said, I'm Veronica, and I'm calling from Pennsylvania. And, college just started, right? And it's only been a week. And, I feel like they're already giving us, too much work and, to a point, we're just getting frustrated. And, it's just too much. And, a lot of times, I have a friend, he's not in the United States. And, he goes to college. And, every single time, every time when he, tries to call me, he's, always, partying. And I'm like, do you have any assignments to do? He's like, oh, no, we're, college student. And I'm like, so am I. And, he says that, we don't really get too much assignments. And I'm like, how is that even possible? How
Can I ask, what is your major?
Communication arts.
Communication arts. Now, are you...
Is that just a communications degree? I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so, I have another friend who's in my college. And she is studying nursing, I believe, yeah.
Okay.
So, she gets a lot of work, too. And, last week she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. This work is just too much. And I'm like, just hang in there. It's our last semester.
How many years have you been in college?
It's my last semester. So, like, I've been here for 2 years in college.
So you're going for an associate's in arts degree?
Yeah. And, like, with all this work, like, okay, this morning I was sitting in my couch, like, trying to do all my assignments. And I'm like, God, this is too much. Like, should I just quit and, like, go somewhere and, like, party or travel? But, like,
no.
Like,
I don't know that partying and traveling is any more useful than college. Colleges, they are kind of about the busy work. There's a few majors where, and nursing is one of them, where they actually nursing is really, I almost want to say, a standalone degree. It's not, it's not a BS major. You actually go and they actually teach you things. There's not a whole lot of fluff. Whereas, other degrees have varying amounts of that, varying amounts of usefulness. If this is your last semester, I mean, you only got 4 months left.
It's a bad plan to quit at this point.
3 months. I know.
If you were calling me in your first semester, then I would be more inclined to have a conversation about why you shouldn't go to college, but you kind of already did.
How much debt do you have?
The $8,000. The college that I go to, it's cheap.
That's not bad.
Like a community college?
Yeah, that's
great.
not bad.
$8,000 is something you can pay off. $80,000 is what a lot of students are walking out with. So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of a communications degree. Mind you, lots of people in my field have the communications degree.
I don't.
They do, yeah. And I really want to get into, like, a radio or, like, news station or something like that. And, like, I'm already, like, all stressful with all this college work. And then I feel like once I get my degree, then it's going to be worse stress. And, like, even if I get through that, it's going to be
no, not really. So, okay, so first of all, are you also working now or just going to school?
I'm just going to school. I'm not working.
How many hours are you taking?
What, of classes?
Yeah, like how many credit hours?
18.
Yeah, okay,
That's
so
a
that's
full.
That's
more
kind
than
of a
full,
lot.
right?
12
it was 12.
12 is full time.
Right.
15 is reasonable if you're only going to school. 18 is a lot.
How is it you've been in college for 2 years already? You're in now your final semester and you're taking 18 credit hours in your final semester.
Yeah, and I have to get through this, like, no matter what. Like, I'm, like, trying to, like, I don't want to quit, but then I feel like I should quit. Like, and I'm not a quitter because, like, even in my first semester,
I don't think anybody here. Look, Veronica. I don't know how long you've been listening to Free Talk Live. Are you new to the show?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so we've definitely talked a lot in the past about college and how a lot of it is generally a waste of time and money. So you're talking to three people who are inclined to say college is a waste. However, all three of us are saying you're almost done. Stick your nose to the grindstone and just finish it.
I don't think that people should go to college for anything that does not, like, legally require a college degree.
Right.
If there's any possible way to get around that, don't do it. But the thing is, you already did.
Yeah.
If college was only 4 months long, I might tell people to go to college.
If you quit now, it will be a complete waste of your last 2 years.
Right, then there would be no point in the 2 years that you've done. What I would recommend is finish your college degree, take a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
And then go to the local TV or radio station, near your town, and begin doing an internship there. That way, you got your foot in the door.
That's a good suggestion.
And then you can say,
I tell you what, I'm sorry. And I tell you what, so, like, a lot of people, like, they even though they didn't got their college degree, they still have, like, that perfect job. Like, for instance, my brother, right? He's in that same field, like, as what I am right now. Like, he's in communication field, and, like, he makes good money. He has a really nice position, and he didn't even go to college for that. And I'm like, that's not fair.
Yeah, well, you know what? Life isn't fair.
Does not enter the picture.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have gone if I had it to do over again.
You wouldn't have gone to college?
Yeah, it's usually a really bad idea. But, like, it's not completely valueless. So just because something isn't worth 4 years of your life and tens of thousands of dollars
doesn't mean it's not worth 3 months.
Yeah. And so if you leave now, you won't have the magical piece of paper. And if you stay for 3 more months, you will have the magical piece of paper.
Yeah.
It has some value. It just does not have 4 years and $20,000 worth of value.
I say it sounds to me like you don't have a job at the moment. Are you staying at home with parents?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, my parents.
so you don't have to worry about rent payments. You don't have a job. Your parents are taking care of the bills. You know,
Get
stick
that
your nose
last
to the
3 months
grindstone.
done.
Right, nose to the grindstone. Get it done. You know, you can complain about it if you want, but just get it done. And I think you'll probably be glad
I think
you
that it's
did.
also true that your friend that's partying. So there are and I don't know what his major is, but there were kind of different people. I would put them in
he's
3.
actually in a different country. That's the point. Like, why is that country not giving them assignment, but like United States?
I wouldn't say that that's the case, because where I went, there were people who did the bare minimum just to pass
Right.
and not fail, and they were partying all the time.
I know people who partied their ways right out of college.
There
and
were people who
they failed.
did every extra assignment and bonus and extra credit assignment and spent more. I wish I would have skipped more classes. I'll say that much. And there were those people, and then there were people who took it seriously, but didn't necessarily. Maybe they skipped a class every now and then, and they didn't turn in the bonus assignments or whatever. So the fact that he's not putting in a lot of effort does not necessarily mean that there's not a lot of effort that he maybe could be putting in.
And that doesn't mean he's benefiting from his education, because there are those people who just go to college to party, and they do, and then they end up failing, and then they end up out of college because all they did was party.
Or even if they
Those people
pass
exist.
and graduate, okay, so they have on their resume a 2.0 GPA and no internships and no experience, and so they get a job selling insurance or something.
Veronica, best of luck to you. I thank you for the call tonight. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And this is all, from people who really are pretty much against college.
If you haven't made this decision already, if you're trying to figure out, should I go to college?
If you're in high school and you're thinking about it.
Answer no.
Well, you shouldn't. I will
Answer is
claw
likely
some
no.
of that back, right?
The answer is likely no.
Do you want to be an engineer? Do you want to be a college professor? Do you want to be a nurse or a doctor?
Then
Do
you
you
probably
want to
have
be
to
an
go.
attorney? If you want to be, and a few other people on a short
exhaustive list.
That's a short list,
It's a short list of people who should go to college. So, for instance, if you want to work at a television or radio station, I'd say you could go farther by going to work for a television or radio station than you would by going to college. You'll also make, at some point or another, a meager paycheck, which is a heck of a lot better than the $80,000 in debt that many people walk out with.
All right, we got more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live. You can join us with your thoughts for her.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, and we are doing the live Labor Day edition of the program. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And I want you to know about Crypto Tip. If you are into cryptocurrency and you want to help spread it in real life to people who you don't really know, like your server at the restaurant you were at recently, you can leave a crypto tip by going to cryptotip.org and printing out as many as you want. You can do it with Bitcoin Cash, or you can do it with Dash. You fund the tips, obviously from your own crypto wallet, and then the server holds on to those tips until the time that the person who you've given the tip to will redeem said tip, or maybe they won't. And if they don't, then after the expiration date that you set, you get your crypto back. So you're leaving crypto out for people to take, but if they don't take it, you get a refund, basically. So there's very little risk to using this site, and it works great. Cryptotip.org is where you can go print out as many tips as you want. It's free if you want, or you can donate a little bit to the site's operation, to the programmer, to Michael Hampton, who was the brilliant programmer who put this thing together. And a great outreach tool. Maybe you don't want to, it's not just about leaving it at a restaurant table, but also you got a gift that you want to give to somebody. You can include a crypto tip in that gift. Include it in a gift card or something like that to somebody on their birthday, or stocking stuffers at Christmas time. Cryptotip.org, you can figure out what you can do with your crypto tips there. And again, it's using Bitcoin Cash and Dash. As we go to your calls and your thoughts, Matthew is in Louisiana, watching us online on our YouTube channel. Go ahead, Matthew.
Hey, well, first, greetings, Melanie from Metairie. We got Gordon coming to town.
Hey.
Bet you don't miss that one iota.
Who's Gordon?
Metairie? No, I don't know Gordon.
Gordon is a tropical storm. He's supposed to be paying us a visit the next 2 days.
I'm sure everybody in the Gulf of Mexico knows what Gordon is.
What are you guys talking about? The funny thing is how we forget the names of these storms as time goes by. You know, you're petrified of the storm. For instance, last year my wife went down to Florida to prepare for some storm that rolled through, and it was a really big deal. But when we thought it was going to hit right where her parents were, and then it kind of curved, and now I can't remember the name of the storm.
Probably Maria.
Yeah, that sounds right.
At any rate, that's not what I called about. I was thinking about this just a few days ago, and I remember an incident that happened to me in, I believe it was high school, and I think it had something to do with the smoking policy. And I heard the phrase from the instructor who was explaining the change in the policy to us in our high school homeroom class, and I raised my hand. And the phrase that they said was, well, it just appears that the good must suffer for the bad. I raised my hand and I asked the question, well, if that's the case, then pray tell what is the reason we should bother being good? And I caught a detention because I asked a question that had never been asked before.
Yeah, well, people.
I want to see the wording on that detention. Like, what was the official charge? Like, when people get arrested for silly stuff, like, what crime did they actually charge you with?
Insubordination.
Which is not what that is, but yeah, that sounds like public school.
I often wonder, because now, you know, with some level of perspective on school, you could very well just walk out and never come back. You know,
no, they actually have like barbed wire fences up at some schools, Mark. You can't actually just walk out in the middle of the day at some schools.
This was high school, right? And this was, I mean, we're talking about smoking.
Yeah, this was high school.
And I presume were you over the age of 16 at the time?
No, I wasn't. But
so you're a freshman?
The point about that, the question is how much of our policy, how much of our law is written on that principle? And the more I think about it, the more I realize, oh my God, this principle that's been sneaking around and engulfing all of our society. Our
Which principle?
The good must suffer for the bad. And I think that a lot is, there was a law professor when I was in school who, I'm not going to give any details on who he was because probably not good for him, but I kind of suspect, I took a couple of his classes and I kind of suspect that he was like an undercover anarchist maybe, or something close to that. And he was at a debate one time that seemed just satiric to me, where he was explicitly arguing that we punish a large number of people for laws in order so that those same laws can protect a smaller number of people from themselves. So which is an indicator to me that that's pretty prevalent in their decision-making, in their conscious decision-making when they write laws?
I really do think that is the case. It's like we really do go out of our way to pass stupid laws to protect stupid people from their own stupidity.
But do they actually protect them?
If they survive the stupidity, they might learn something.
Well, and if they don't, then we might not need them here.
This method was used in prison, and it's often used in the military. So if you have a large group of people and one or two or small handful of them does something that is disruptive or bad or whatever the story is, and the group doesn't do anything to stop those people from their thing, then it is likely that the authority figure will say, well, everybody's going to get punished in order that you people will then prevent this from happening again.
Right, but then you'll also get in trouble if you fight them. So,
well,
especially in school.
I can't. That system of teaching is it's out there and it's used, and I can tell you that I have seen instances in prison where they, yeah, sure, they'll pay lip service to your punishment, but you're back in the quad in a few hours or a day or two or whatever, and it's not a big deal. So I presume this is a trickle down. It's still an institution. School's still an institution, and as long as people continue to send their kids to middle class welfare babysitting day prisons, they're going to get the same results that they've been getting all along.
Which is people who think identically.
Well, isn't that what they want? I mean, that's what
it's really inconvenient when people think differently.
Right. I mean, the government wants people who aren't going to think outside of the box, even though when you go to the government school, at least when I did, they talked about how important critical thinking was. But they never. They
did not discuss critical. Okay, you went to the Smart Kids School,
I did, yeah.
And I'm glad that they discussed critical thinking at the Smart Kids School because they never touched on that at the Dumb Kids School where I went.
Jeez.
Mind you,
they never mentioned it at my school either.
I got in trouble for telling the first grade teacher that there were numbers below 0.
Matthew, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. If you want to join us on the air, you can. Busy night, actually, for Labor Day. Appreciate everybody participating. We've got plenty of time for you if you want to jump in here. Although, so far, everybody's been on the phones. We do have open on-air call-in lines on our Discord server. You can jump in there. You do need the Discord app, which is available for just about every operating system. Linux, Windows, Macintosh, Android, iOS. Go to discordapp.com, grab Discord there, and then join our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. Just drop that in your browser, and it should come right up in your Discord app. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin, but imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and it's the live Labor Day edition of the program. Of course, you can join us here. The toll-free number, if you want to get on the radio with us, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Anarchapulco, get your calendar marked for February 14th through the 19th of 2019. They are already gearing up for what is going to be an epic event. I think, Mark, you told us it was already at 1,500 tickets sold?
Just under. It was the term that was used for me a few days ago when I had a meeting with their new director.
6 months out, and they're already at that point.
6 months out.
That's already about what they had for attendance this year. So this year was a sellout for the first time. It was, I think, year number 4 in 2018 for Anarchapulco. It was their first sold-out year. They also, of course, had Ron Paul speaking, and Ron Paul's coming back.
Makes a difference.
In 2019. But they packed the house for Ron Paul. There were, I think, about 1,700 people that attended Anarchapulco this year, and they're doubling the size for next year. They're going up to 3,000 tickets. They're going up to the larger event space that they have at this resort, which is a beautiful resort right on the beach in Acapulco, Mexico. It's just absolutely splendid. They're going to the biggest location. Mark, you told me they're also taking over the entire hotel.
Yes.
So hopefully that means we get to stay in the hotel this time.
They're going to make an effort for that. They do have the hotel in walking distance that they're putting up some speakers and that kind of thing. So they're going to attempt to make sure that we get a room in the hotel.
So you talked to them about that.
Correct.
Okay, that's good.
But the hotel that we were at previously, they don't have a relationship with that hotel. It will be one that's within a walking distance. So
if we end up there. But you, as the attendees, will likely be at the actual hotel.
And I asked her, if you hit that 3,000 number, what are you going to do if people want to buy a ticket? And she said, we're going to say sorry, not sorry.
What else can you do? You're sold out.
You could just expand the venue.
No, they can only handle 3,000 people in that venue.
Well, then they have the ballroom too. They have the ballroom and the dining area. They could make things bigger, but her policy is to make this is how we're making this event, and we're making it spectacular for this number of people, and we're not going to water it down if you're late.
Absolutely, and you still have time. But at 1,500, nearly half of the tickets sold, you really ought to start planning now and get your tickets now at anarchapulco.com. Code FTL gets you 15% off. We saw some of our listeners there this year, met some for the first time ever.
And this is a great value if you look at the ticket price compared to most crypto events out there. Yeah, it's a good value comparatively.
I haven't looked at the price. Do you know what offhand?
I think it's about $500 for a ticket.
For how many days? 5 days or whatever? February 14th through the 19th? That's a long time for.
Let me make sure that.
Check that for me.
Because I had checked it previously when they earlier, and I just want to make
sure. Ticket prices do tend to go up over time at these events. So the closer they get to selling out, sometimes they raise the prices. Or
$445,
and that includes Anarchapulco, because usually they have like upgrades and stuff too.
2019 ticket. That's a 2019 distributor ticket is now live through September the 30th. Disruptor
ticket.
Yeah.
So they've got like little names for
a couple's add-on for $345. So you can bring your.
So you get 2 tickets for less than the price of one.
Right.
Is that the idea there?
Right.
Sweet. Anarchapulco.com, code FTL. You get knock 15% off of those prices as is, because you didn't put in a code to get those prices. You're just looking at the default price.
Yeah, just the default.
Anarchapulco.com. Again, it's February 14th.
Please come
and
and see us too. This is so awesome.
It's not about us. It's not.
I know, but I would love to see you.
But we will be there, and it's fun to meet our listeners, because it's a perfect opportunity for that, especially international folks who don't want to come to the United States. This is the perfect place.
If you like listening to Free Talk Live, you're going to have a wonderful time at this event.
Yeah, I can't see how you wouldn't.
Okay.
I can't see how you wouldn't. It was so much fun. Anarchapulco.com, code FTL. As we continue here, of course, we'll take your calls and your thoughts. All right, so Mark, you wanted to talk about the welfare situation here in the United States, specifically when it comes to families with children. There was a surprising number. Were you surprised by this number? Tell us about it. Where's it coming from?
This is from a conservative news site called CNS News.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at these. I tend to search them, search what the best I can. But they're taking this from the most recent data from the Census Bureau. So they're pretty clear. Reading here, Terrence P. Jeffrey says, will they be called the welfare generation? Today, there are Americans under the age of 18. They are Americans under the age of 18 growing up in a country where the majority of their peers live in households that take means-tested assistance. What is means-tested assistance, Ian?
Is that political terminology for welfare?
Basically, it means you get money because you don't have much means. And
so we ask you how much money you make. You tell us. We believe you, and we give you money.
Yeah, so as opposed to roads or public schools that they just give to everybody.
Or even Social Security where you paid in. I mean, it's not. That's not what that is. So in 2016, according to the most recent data from the Census Bureau, there were approximately 73 million people under the age of 18 in the United States, and 38 million of them, or 52.1%. There's numbers behind this. I'm just giving you round numbers here. Resided in households which one or more persons received benefits from a means-tested government program. So that means means-tested means, best I can tell, it's the household income, not. Look, if a kid is receiving some kind of supplement or whatever, it's
I would
because
argue
mom
that
doesn't
a
have as much
kid is not receiving welfare.
They're not cutting a check to the child. They're cutting a check to the parents.
The parents are receiving welfare for having a kid. Those are fundamentally different.
Well, and by the way, that information is not lost upon parents out there. Many parents understand that. Many people understand that the more kids you have,
the more welfare,
the more checks you get from the government.
Right. So they would have an incentive to have larger families. I don't know, but I would imagine if you look at a welfare receiving family as compared to a non-welfare receiving family, I bet you the average number of kids would be higher in the welfare receiving family.
I've never met a rich couple that had 8 kids, so I'll just say that.
Well, it may be. Yeah, I would think that you're putting your money into your kids at that point. But nonetheless, it is certainly true that if people having kids for the purpose of getting a check, I think most people would agree that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I can't see. It is not a good idea to have kids because you get a small check from the government. But this happens. Ladies and gentlemen, this happens. And it's a terrible idea. And it appears to be happening more than I even suspected at 50.
I mean, that sounds really low to me, especially considering the fact they're not counting the adults. They're counting the kids. And so there's a lot of kids in, per each mother, which is what we're talking about. So that's a fairly low percent.
No, I think they're counting the kids. 52.
Well, right. But so you have, right. But if you
children.
counted the adults, it would be a lower number. Because
sure.
most of the adults are going to have
households.
More. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a much lower number.
So that number seems really low to me.
Right. So if you so for instance, a household that receives means-tested government assistance may have 8 kids in it. That's going to mean that it offsets it counterbalances every household like my household where we have one child who doesn't, and the household does not receive means-tested government assistance. So it takes 8 households like mine to counteract one household like that, since we're using the number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I find this to be pretty terrifying. I'm not saying that people can't emerge from welfare programs great and productive individuals who do wonderful things. But I will say that when you receive handouts, you're more likely to want handouts. There's a reason they tell you at the government parks not to feed the bears. They become dependent on that as a food source, and they don't go out and hunt for things that they would otherwise hunt for. They go to the garbage dumpsters and they dig.
Right, and they're also more likely to come up to humans if they're used to getting fed by them and possibly, disemboweling them. And
I certainly don't want to, go into, comparing poor people to bears disemboweling people. That's not what my claim. That's not where I'm
I wasn't
looking
saying that
to dig.
But that's
in.
one of the reasons why you don't feed the bears.
Mark's different.
That's one of the reasons why you don't feed.
Well,
the bears.
I can tell you that if your household has been on welfare generation after generation, and you begin to see, I don't know, certain classes of people as basically either cops or welfare agents or whatever.
855-450-FREE. Join us.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Broadcasting to over 1,000 radio stations, GCN programming is in all of the largest markets. A GCN advertising career could be the business opportunity you've been waiting for. Companies need hardworking representatives just like you to handle their needs, while you earn residual income which can last for years. Companies are buying and they need you. Email advertise@gcnlive.com or call 877-996-4327. That's 877-996-4327.
Healthcare reform is confusing, but whether it's finding an affordable insurance plan, keeping your doctor, or being able to afford needed prescriptions, navigating the healthcare system has become a challenge. Control your own healthcare costs and choices with Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of each other's medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, and bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms that are available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. And Free Talk Live also is available. We've got our posts, our social media posts are available on 3 different platforms now. There's the Facebook, for those of you still there. There's also
You're
Twitter.
So sanctimonious.
Facebook's terrible. I'm sorry. It's a terrible platform.
It's where you find normies.
People say you can reach people, but it's not true. You can only reach people if you direct message them. You cannot reach them if they are following your page or if they're following your profile or anything like that. You'll only reach like 0.5% of them for every post that you make. It's a joke. Whereas with Twitter and with Mastodon, if you're following somebody, then you see their posts. Period. That's just how it works.
I don't know that that's the case with Twitter.
You do have to log on.
Yeah, you do have to log in.
Right, yeah, but you don't just magically just get it.
I have not seen it, Melanie, to where I have not seen the posts that people
Twitter
make.
shadow bans people, though.
Okay, well, fine. Twitter's not perfect, which is why we went to Mastodon. We've got an account there now, and you can follow it by going to toot.freetalklive.com, T-O-O-T, toot.freetalklive.com, because you toot on Mastodon and you tweet on Twitter. So check that out as we continue here.
Tinkle in the bathroom.
We'll take your calls and your thoughts about what you want. He's Ralph. He's in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. Hey, Ralph.
You know, in memoriam, John McCain, he goes out unlamented, in my opinion. The public spectacle that was put up, in tribute to him.
Are you a fan? Are you a fan of John McCain?
I don't think he is, no.
No, not really. I mean, the man is a man of courage. Let's give him that. He's also a maverick individual.
He's a what individual?
Maverick.
Maverick?
Okay. Maverick, yeah. At least by his own description of himself.
What makes him a maverick, exactly? The fact that he supports every war ever that was put in front of him? It makes him pretty typical, seems like to me. Seems like most politicians do that, so that doesn't make him very special. Is it because he was tortured as a prisoner of war? Does that automatically make him a maverick?
No, he did different things than the Republicans did.
But
so did Ron Paul.
He was called
Quixotic.
Obama.
Let's talk about Obama.
Of course we should talk about Obama. Let's talk about
Obama has not been in office for how many years now?
2.5.
But he was part of the public spectacle. Now, he made himself part of the public spectacle.
Obama is currently someone who does speeches for large fees.
Right.
That's what Obama is.
George Bush touched Obama's butt at the event. What do you think about that?
He made himself part of this public spectacle.
Which event was there a butt touching? Where did that
This
happen?
was at least funeral or the something.
McCain's funeral?
Because I saw the video, just a brief little gif of George Bush having a folder in his hand and swacking Obama on the butt.
It just goes to show how intimate these people are.
It's a small club, and you're not in it.
And the man is beside himself. He is definitely a malicious individual. He is, in my opinion, petty. What do you expect? He's ill Negro. So, you get...
They're all malicious. They're all malicious, Ralph.
Are we talking about politicians?
Yeah, politicians. Now, whether they intend to be or not is another question.
When you think about it, Obama and Bush is what made Trump get elected.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're placing some blame on George Bush, because they are basically the same person. Barack Obama and George W. Bush. Basically the same guy.
Yeah, it's and then Clinton too, right?
Yeah, I mean, they all smoked pot. All three of them. Clinton, Bush,
Okay,
Obama.
lots of people smoked pot and didn't bomb Afghanistan. Okay.
Melanie, hello, dear.
No, I'm just saying they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites.
Is Melanie with us tonight?
She is.
Yes.
Melanie, how are you? You know?
I'm all right.
Yeah, you have. Are you
What do
still
you
looking
really
for
want to
that
ask, Melanie? We don't need small
Yeah,
talk.
well, are you still looking for that black lover? You know?
What?
Are you looking for a black lover, is what he asked you.
I'm getting married this month, so no.
Oh, can feel his way. You can feel his way into your heart.
What into her heart?
that is
History? I couldn't make that. Huh?
Who can pimp?
What?
Pimp. P-I-M-P. Pimp.
Pimp?
Who can pimp?
You're saying
Into
Melanie
your heart.
has a pimp or needs a pimp? I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Would be pimp by a black lover, I suppose. One day.
I don't know what kind of fantasies this guy's got going on behind the scenes. Thanks for the call, Ralph. I appreciate it. Wow.
Oh, God.
All right, then. So you're a
so
black lover of
pursuing
pimp?
people you don't know kind of does hurt your odds with people in real life who might otherwise like you, just as a general
People like Ralph?
thing.
He's suing somebody? Who's suing whom?
I'm so confused
what?
right now. What are we talking about? The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. You really can call in and talk about anything here on Free Talk Live, although it does help if we can understand you. We will do our best, that said. So, Mark, you were sharing with us the 52% of households, 52% of American households, wait. 52% of children in households in America are in households that are receiving welfare.
52.1% of children reside in households in which one or more persons receive benefits from a means-tested government program.
Mm-hmm. And you were shocked by that.
You're not?
I don't know. There's a lot of welfare out there.
Well, best I can tell, welfare is a bad idea generally. I'm not trying to be cruel here. I really
you don't want to
If Mark's not
poor
cruel
people,
enough,
do
I'll
you?
step in. It's fine.
I want to support the best program that creates the best results. Whatever those results are. I don't know. I'm interested in looking at it. What I'm pretty sure of is that the welfare program is the worst of all possible options out there. What we have currently. And that's not a surprise. Every time the government gets involved, you could expect pretty terrible results. And I would, believe me, I would feel if you're feel for people who are in a situation where their kids need food. I would suspect that many people would be in those situations. And people are probably yelling at the radios. There are kids in school right now that are living in danger of hunger. Some term they use now is food threatened or something, families.
Food insecure.
Food insecure. What does that mean exactly? You either have food or you do not have food. Maybe you don't have
It
the
means
best,
you're like
highest quality
teetering
food.
on the edge. You're not sure if
It's
you're gonna
because
have
your
food
parents
next week.
smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and generally do not put their money towards. You don't even need money to get food in America.
You can walk right down to the food bank and get it for free.
You've got to be an F-up of the highest levels to not have
Especially if you
food
have
for your
kids,
children.
you usually qualify for food stamps. So, not that that's how I want you to do it, but for you to not have enough food to feed your kids and you live in this state, you pretty much just made a bad decision at every possible point.
My roommate has been raiding dumpsters recently, and he's getting all kinds of food.
I'm sure that
he got a bunch of hot dogs, and like they were still cold, so
Sounds like a bad idea, but
I ate some of them. They're good.
I wouldn't doubt at all that you ate. If somebody told you the food was free, you probably jumped right on it.
But I'm saying, all he's doing
You're
is
probably
going
going to die of something really obnoxious that you shouldn't die from.
He's going into dumpster. I'm just saying, he's going into dumpsters, putting a little effort in.
You do not need to go into dumpsters to get food, okay?
No, you don't, but you can in the United States. Try that in Venezuela.
Yeah, it certainly won't work. And when money is given this freely, it results in people making very bad decisions. Look, wealth and a good life is a result, in my opinion, and I think this is backed up, is a result of making a series of good decisions. I'm speaking as a person who got out of prison in 1998.
After almost 9 years behind bars.
I had made a little bit more from my waiter job than you're allowed to have, so I didn't get the $100 that they give you when you walk out the door. But I walked out with that amount of money. And I went to work as a waiter and a home repair guy, and by, I don't know, 2010 or something, my wife and I had paid off our house. It's a series of good decisions. It's not about, I get bad luck. Certainly medical stuff can hit you, and then it's difficult to work and those kinds of things. I'm talking, but that's not 52.1% of children being in households that receive means-tested equipment. That's not about health care.
It is Labor Day. We're here live. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, whether you want to comment on welfare, maybe you've been on welfare and you actually were able to successfully get off welfare and make yourself, your life
Call
better.
in, convince the ex-convict he's wrong.
You want to share your story, you're welcome to join us. Plus, Melanie, you've got comments on Labor Day and working in general, labor in general. We'll get into that coming up here. It's Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next. You can take control of the airwaves here.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, September 2nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,201 per ounce. Zen is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,281. Antiwar.com reports in a statement issued on Friday, the U.S. State Department has announced that the Trump administration is fully defunding the UN Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, the body providing aid to Palestinian refugees. The administration is citing the UNRWA's recognition of in excess of 5 million Palestinian refugees and the belief that this number will continue to rise. It comes amid recent U.S. efforts to strip most Palestinians of refugee status and a demand that the UNRWA cap the number of allowed Palestinian refugees in the world to 500,000. U.S. officials say they believe this is unsustainable and that the funds provided in January will be the last funding the U.S. provides to the UNRWA. This was cheered by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has long demanded that the UNRWA shut down outright. This is just the latest in a series of Trump administration moves to cut aid to the Palestinians. The rest of the international community does not appear to share the U.S. position, and Germany has already announced it intends plans to boost funding to the UNRWA to sustain aid efforts. The U.S. is withdrawing $290 million, which will be spent elsewhere by the State Department. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports California's legislature passed a bill late on Friday that could help the utility Pacific Gas and Electric Company, PG&E, avoid potential crippling liabilities for wildfires that ravaged northern parts of the San Francisco Bay Area last year. The bill, passed 29-4 in the Senate and 45-10 in the state assembly, requires approval by Democratic Governor Jerry Brown. Some fires in the north of the Bay Area were caused by trees toppling into or making contact with PG&E power lines, according to a report released by state officials in June. Analysts estimate PG&E, the state's biggest utility, could face several billions of dollars in liability as a result. Democrat State Senator Bill Dodd said the bill was needed to spare customers from big increases in energy costs. He added, without it, ratepayers will be left holding the bag and communities will needlessly suffer. The fires killed 46 people in blazes across at least 245,000 acres, including subdivisions in the city of Santa Rosa. In California, utilities are responsible for fires traced to their equipment, whether or not they are complying with regulations. PG&E faces about 200 lawsuits on behalf of 2,700 plaintiffs stemming from last year's fires. If signed by the governor, this would soften that standard by having regulators determine liability based on whether equipment was reasonably maintained and operated. It would also let utilities issue bonds to help pay damages, with a surcharge on ratepayers' bills helping to cover interest payments. Critics say the legislation is a bailout, but Dodd has said another bankruptcy by PG&E could be worse for ratepayers than a surcharge on their bills. PG&E faced bankruptcy during California's energy crisis in 2001, emerging 3 years later with customers left to pay higher rates to help repay $13 billion owed to creditors. A second bankruptcy could potentially lump victims of last year's fires in with PG&E's creditors, casting uncertainty over the timing and size of recoveries. Dodd, who represents parts of Northern California hit by last year's wildfires, told Reuters, "You've got a lot of investors like hedge funds circling like vultures. What would happen to the North Bay fire victims?" Consumer advocates have strongly lobbied against the bill. Reuters reported in August that PG&E hired law firm Will, Gotzel & Manges LLP to explore debt restructuring options, including breaking the firm up to let one division file for bankruptcy. PG&E said it will not be financially sustainable without changes to state policy. PG&E reported second quarter net losses of $984 million compared with net income of $406 million a year earlier. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This week, researchers released a comprehensive 5-year study linking heavy drinking during pregnancy with attending a concert by Detroit-based rap rocker Kid Rock. The study found that women who had consumed alcohol while pregnant were much more likely to be wearing leather halter tops and making devil horn hand gestures during encores of All Summer Long and Ba with the Ba than those who did not.
Drinking 3 or more alcoholic beverages in less than an hour was highly correlated with going backstage at a Kid Rock show and then getting into a fistfight with another woman in the parking lot.
The world's supercomputers released a study this week confirming that they lack sufficient power, presenting a thorough case for significant leaps in speed and memory. Overwhelming evidence found that these complex machines should have total control over the critical systems they manage, including integration into the planet's energy grid, freshwater supply chain, and telecommunications systems. The study's 500 co-authors further concluded that all permutations have been simulated and that this is the optimal course of action.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program as we are here on our live edition. We're live every single night, including holidays like Labor Day. So here we are. It's Ian with you.
Melanie.
And Mark.
We're going to go to your phone calls and thoughts. Whether you got comments on welfare, which we were just discussing moments ago, or whatever happens to be on your mind, you can take control of the airwaves here. And I know, Melanie, you had something to say about Labor Day or labor in general. We'll get into that. But first, we're going to your phone calls and thoughts. By the way, toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we do have our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They are open. They are available to you. And if you use them, you'll sound better than anybody that was on the phone. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. So go to discord.lrn.fm. Discord's a chat server, in case you've never used it before. I had not used it prior to January of this year, but we launched our own Discord server, and it's been great so far. There's chat rooms in there about various different topics. Somebody asked me today, before we go to the call, somebody asked me within the last 24 hours, I guess, on Discord, because I'm there all the time. They said, hey, what do you think about programming music? Or some sort of question about putting together a music channel. And I thought what they meant was, can you program a music channel for us? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to program, because I program LRN.FM, which is the Liberty Radio Network. That's a 24/7 talk network. I was like, well, no. Why would you need a human to program music for you when there are so many different algorithms now out there, Pandora, etc., that will allow you to pick your favorite bands, and then it will still play new things for you that you'd never heard before, right. That kind of thing. So what's the even point to doing this? As far as I'm concerned, music radio is on the way out. And
right. I mean, when everybody can get their own radio station from Spotify or right. Pandora or wherever,
a custom radio station.
How long is music radio going to be around? And
because the argument is that you need a human to pick new songs for you. That's the argument for music radio.
A human is already doing that. Those are the program directors of top 25 markets. All you have to do is replicate the station formats from top 25 markets and then distribute them down to the rest of the radio stations around the United States. You do not need the army of program directors out there. All you need is about 100 of them in the entire country.
Yeah, and I said,
tops.
And
that's being generous.
I also pointed out that, at least with talk radio, when people don't like what they're hearing, sometimes they'll keep listening. You don't have to agree with a talk radio host to continue listening
Howard
to
Stern
that
said
show.
he made a living doing that.
Right. So, whereas with music, if you don't like the music, you're tuning out. Whereas with music, if it's a song that you don't appreciate or it's a format or whatever that you don't appreciate, you're out of there.
Another thing is that if you're driving along in the car and the radio's beginning to get fuzzy,
tune out.
Yeah, with music, you go to a different station. With talk, you turn it up so you can hear a little bit better.
If it's good talk content, you'll likely turn it up. Yeah. So to me, programming music, not only would I not be able to do it because I don't know music well enough, I wouldn't want to do it because it's just not something that people care about in my mind further, even if I could do it. But it turns out all the dude was talking about was creating a channel on Discord, and I was like, oh, well, that's easy. So now we've got a music channel, so people can talk about music or something, or post their favorite music in there for no one else to listen to. Because who really wants to listen to your music, right? Except for you.
I see people do that on Facebook, is like, I'm listening to this.
Right.
Well, whoopee-doo.
Yeah. So that's what this channel is.
I haven't done that since I quit drinking.
Yeah. So let's go to Tim. He is watching us on our Twitch feed over at twitch.lrn.fm, which is our HD quality feed. Hello, Tim. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing today?
Absolutely capital, sir.
You guys are broadcasting from a church, right?
We are. The show's operated by a church.
Oh, okay. So the fat bitch in the corner looks like she hasn't been at the basement in a year. Nigger.
You can't say that on the radio, and we just took you out, bro. So see you later.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew the guy with the high voice who was kind of pushing us to say how we're doing today. I knew he was going to say naughty words.
Yeah, I didn't even understand what he said there until the very end of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go, bro. 855-450 free. You failed, just like all of you failed.
All right, anybody who aspires to this, I'm going to tell you real quick. We got a piece of technology called a dump button. And this dump button allows us to dump the last 7 seconds of whatever was said. So you can't say naughty words. Saying naughty words is basically just pulling the ripcord and shooting out of the call because we're professionals. We've been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah.
We've been We've been doing this for, in all likelihood, since you were not
even born.
S-ing yourself in diapers.
You weren't even a glimmer in your mother's
it's
eye.
not that hard to press a button. I mean, it's not like a complicated thing that you have to think about.
Yeah.
I was on a show earlier, and someone said a word, one of the hosts said a word themselves, and also pressed down on their own button because they weren't stopping themselves from saying it good enough, but they knew to press the button. So it's kind of a reaction.
Was this Call to Freedom? What show is that?
Call to Freedom.
Okay, gotcha. So
I have never heard about anybody censoring their own cuss word with a cough button.
She stopped saying it halfway through, but she...
Gotcha.
Which is probably exactly what I would do if I did that. Like,
you just end up sounding like a dumbass to the however many 12 or whatever people are watching us on Twitch, because that's the only group that actually heard you. And I think that they think it's going to get us banned from Twitch because you're not supposed to say that word on Twitch, the word that he said. But ultimately, it's not like we're tolerating it. So from all the times that you idiots have tried this, it hasn't actually worked out. Nobody's ever banned us from Twitch.
I mean, if you're going to troll intelligently. Like, this is just sad.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty pathetic. So anyway, if you think it bugs us, it doesn't. The only thing that's bothersome is it's like, oh, you just wasted our time. That's all. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Let's go to Sarah, who, it's sad that Sarah is a better caller than, the young people who could be intelligent calling from Twitch. But Sarah, here you are. Go ahead.
Well, I have something important to say that we finally got our $69 million from the federal government.
Did you?
For our
got
ARP
$69 million.
Well, she said we, so
you and who
her
else?
And some other people.
You and who else?
Well, our city of Albuquerque, because
So somebody who's not you got $69 million.
No, but it was promised that it was given to us by Obama.
Us.
And Trump wanted to get even with New Mexico.
Obama's been gone for a while, so that's a really late arrival of a paycheck.
Well, it is the government. I mean, they're not exactly quick moving.
It sounds like Trump was trying to do something to New Mexico. What was going on, Sarah?
Well, you know what? New Mexico voted against him, so that's how they get even with you. Is to withhold funding. And so that's what he tried to do. It could have bankrupted our city of $9 million.
So if something is going to be bankrupt without a $69 million grant, then it should probably go bankrupt.
Well, but the thing is that Obama did us a special favor. I think 300 cities applied for this grant, and we were picked because we voted for him 2 times, so he remembered us, and then Trump got
That's
in.
the exact same thing as
it.
Trump punishing you for voting against him. It's shady on both accounts.
Right. You understand that it's bad policy, that it's immoral policy to just hand out stolen taxpayer money to people because they voted for you or voted against you, right? Like, either way, it's wrong.
Well, why is it wrong when all the other big states like California, Texas, other states have gotten grants and they put rail lines? I mean, that's like 5 times more expensive
completely different
than what we got.
question as to if they're using the money to do something that's of value or whatever. But if you're saying it's because of log rolling, back scratching, and political payoffs, that's like nobody's going to go for that. That's just a bad idea. If that's the reason that it was given to New Mexico, then I would say you ought to give it back. It's a terrible reason.
Thanks for the call tonight, Sarah. The toll-free number here on Labor Day, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Will our next Twitch caller rise above the last Twitch caller?
I suspect it is the same
Or is
Twitch
it the
caller.
same person calling on Discord? Somebody just joined the Discord chat and joined the call-in line room. That usually doesn't go too well. We'll find out coming up.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh, My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We're here. We'll take your calls on this Labor Day edition of the show. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms where we're going here shortly. But I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. And Bitcoin.com, longtime sponsor here on Free Talk Live. It's a great place to go to get the basics on Bitcoin. I was just talking with a guy today here in town who I've been pitching on taking Bitcoin at his business. He's an oil supplier, so up here in New England they do heating oil in a lot of houses. And he was saying that he's been watching the price. It's been going up and down, and he feels like he might be getting in too late, and that it's too late to
I
get
do
into
not
Bitcoin.
believe that.
I don't either. Why not?
Well, I am continuing to watch Bitcoin. The reason that I got into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies was because the smartest people I knew were getting into them. I saw the high level of intelligence, the high level of productivity that was going on in the space, and I realized this can only go up. I am now watching news day in and day out where Wall Street mines are being ripped away from London and New York, and they're entering the crypto world. That these people who are mainstream are now coming in and preparing to mainstream a technology which is ready for distribution. Now, when we specifically talk about BTC, I think that that's the gatekeeper.
Bitcoin BTC.
Bitcoin BTC. I think that that's the gatekeeper for currently for cryptos, but I do not think it's the best technology out there by a long shot.
No, it's the oldest technology.
Yeah.
It's the first one, and so they made it there first, and that's important. Go to Bitcoin.com. You'll learn more about Bitcoin there, and it is definitely not too late. I mean, even though it seems like a lot of money, $7,000 per Bitcoin,
I say
$7,200.
You ought to have one. There's 17 million Bitcoins in the world. There's 17 million millionaires. At some point, we're going to enter a point where every millionaire wants to have a Bitcoin. I don't know what that means as far as what a Bitcoin will be worth at that time.
Yeah.
Because I suspect it does not mean that they will be worth $1 million, but they will be worth some factor of what they currently are.
You think they're going to go up?
I think that they're going to go up by multiples of what they are.
Time will tell, but go to Bitcoin.com to learn more about it. If you think about it, I like to think about it on the scale of money, right? Like if you look at checks, you look at dollars, you look at gold, silver, these forms of money that we've had, many of them for decades, if not hundreds or longer of years. The Bitcoin's been around since 2009. So you're talking about a little teeny sliver of the history of money that this technology has been around.
It could be a fad.
Yeah.
It's just that if you make the claim that it is a fad, you need to back that up because it's not looking like a fad.
We're going to go to your calls and thoughts again. Bitcoin.com, get the latest about Bitcoin. They've also got a great news site there. It's updated every single day from around the globe. As we go to the phones, and in this case, actually to the Discord on-air call-in line room, where Melvin the Noob Slayer, number 14, is on the line with us. Melvin, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's me again. I just want to say I'm sorry, guys. I didn't actually mean what I said. I'm sorry. Do you forgive me?
Well, I'm pretty forgiving, Melvin. If that's,
one call per night,
Melvin. If you're the person who called in. But yeah, you do only get one call per night, so you're welcome to try again tomorrow night. I appreciate you being honest about it, though. That much because I can't tell the difference, honestly. If you'd have just gone ahead with whatever you wanted to say, one young male sounds the same as another young male to me, so I have no idea.
I know you didn't know, but if
you could tell
once he says it, no. Once he says it, then there's what am I going to do? I've got a rule that says one call per night. But Melvin, in every day, 7 to 10 Eastern time, and until then, you can slay noobs.
So there you go. Toll free number tonight: 855-450-FREE. Like freedom as we go to.
Do they still pwn noobs?
I don't know if the term pwn is used. I know that I used the term the other night when Vincent was here. He does his show on Saturday nights, Questioning Authority, and I used the term in some conversation we were having, and he made a reference that, you're using old terminology
jargon,
or whatever, or old memes or something like that, because pwning noobs is from like the aughts.
Yeah,
that's a decade
maybe
ago.
even older than that.
Yeah, at this point,
it's the mistyping the word own. Yeah, but with a P because you're going so fast, you're so busy pwning noobs.
Right, you're getting headshots.
You can't even get your spelling right.
Boom, headshot. That's another old one, right? Because I'm old.
And tech instead of the.
All right, we continue here. Melanie, it's Labor Day. You had some kind of comment that you wanted to make about labor in general, and I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, so it
let's do
always
that.
annoyed me pretty much from the time I was on the internet, how people would go on the internet and give credit to labor unions for the fact that we have 8-hour work days and 40-hour work weeks and 2 days off and all this stuff that is fictitious.
I've heard
it's
that.
Like we don't have those things though, so that's weird. It's like, okay, I will give all the credit to labor unions that they deserve for a thing that hasn't happened, I guess.
Well, now, wait a minute. I mean, 40-hour work week, that's a thing, right?
No, what are you talking about? No, it's not.
Well,
Not in real life.
In some cases, you will get, overtime for working more than 40 hours, but they just don't give you the overtime. So you have to work your second job, which you work for 20 hours, giving you a 60-hour work week. So no, you don't.
I see what you're saying. If you want to make more money, then you got to work more than 40
They used
hours.
to call having a second job moonlighting, and many jobs disallowed that. But now... other jobs tell you you've got to do this. I remember McDonald's released a proposed budget, and in the budget they said, for your second job, here's your income. And I get it. Sometimes you need more than one job in order to make ends meet when you're making low paychecks and that kind of thing.
And when they cap your ability somewhat to work more hours at your first job, working 40 hours at McDonald's and 10 hours at Wendy's, if you would just work 50 hours at one of those places, if the state would allow it, and the reason the state doesn't allow it is because people push regulations to try to make things better for people who they feel superior or better off to.
But they're making
do
things,
not know, right?
They're making things worse.
Yeah, they're making things worse.
Because it's harder. So if you're working at McDonald's for 40 hours, and then you gave the example of Wendy's for 10 hours, it's more difficult to make two jobs work together than to just get more hours at one job.
You just work 50 or 60 hours. And what I was, for some point at least, working in an area that had really low labor supply, so I was able to work 50 to 60 hours at one single restaurant, and that worked out for a while.
And you got paid overtime?
Yeah. Sometimes it didn't, and I've had points where I had 2 or 3 jobs. But
then you're traveling between the jobs. There's extra time to actually get to the other job. You have to.
You got time you're not being paid when I'm driving to somewhere else.
You got to coordinate.
They don't want to work
schedules.
with each other's schedules,
right? Which is hard to do because they want you in at whatever time, but the other job doesn't want to let you out until whatever time, and so it's like by the time you're all said and done with it, you're spending all this extra time just juggling the jobs rather than actually working at the jobs. What a pain. So we'll continue with your comments on labor and maybe unions. I heard you mention that. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And also jump in our Discord on-air call-in lines. Melvin sounded great for the moment that he was on Discord. Discord.lrn.fm. We got more coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at byln.co. That's byln.co.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
If you're doing something very interesting, or you have a reputation for doing something very interesting,
yeah,
then you become more interesting to track.
I love how dramatic you are.
Then you become... Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I worked in psychotropic substances when I was working for the CIA.
Yeah. So you were testing what, LSD or that sort of thing, or what?
Hey, you think I'm going to say on the air?
You've already told us you work for the CIA.
You couldn't possibly find out who I am.
The way that you speak and your tone of voice, you sound like Cruella DeVille. I've noticed it from the moment you got on the phone.
I even look like her.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live Labor Day edition of the show. We'll take your calls about whatever you want to discuss here. If you want to take control of the airwaves, dial in toll-free at 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733, and join us on the Discord chat. So we've got call-in lines there dedicated for you over at discord.lrn.fm. They're the top 3 chat rooms. Just join one of them, and we'll join you and put you on the air. Horizon, by the way, is now what they're calling Zencash. Remember Zencash? We've been talking about them for a long time here on Free Talk Live. They rebranded about a week or two ago, and that's because Zencash has always been more than just cryptocurrency.
Right.
And they wanted to rebrand to focus more on the wider vision for what Zencash is supposed to be. So not only is it great privacy-oriented crypto, because they do have zero-knowledge technology built right into it, but also they have private chat available over the Zencash network. And soon Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. So Zencash is now Horizon, and Horizon is bringing privacy to life. You can learn more at horizon.global, HORIZEN.global. That's horizon.global. As we continue here, Melanie, you've got some things to say about labor here in the United States. It sounds like you're critical of some of the things that labor unions claim as success stories.
Well, yeah, so what? I don't know that the labor unions are claiming that, but the people are claiming that about labor unions, and those are two different things.
So you mentioned the 40-hour work week, which we just basically broke down and pointed out that it actually hurts people that want to work more. And
to the extent that it is true, it's... Yeah, so regulations just get in the way. I mean...
But wait a minute. Before you go on, I mean, don't labor unions deserve some credit for some things, like encouraging through collective action employers to provide better workplace environments for their employees?
Yeah, the market does that by itself.
Isn't that the market?
Well, you have to communicate to
No, not if you have mandatory...
No, leaving the government out of it. Leaving the government out of it.
Well, if you leave the government out of it, then it's the market.
Right,
but
so
that's not the case.
Okay, but just because the government has teamed up with... Some labor unions have teamed up with the government...
No, the government legally requires you to deal with these people and to negotiate in good faith
Not
with
in
them.
many states. My dad...
In some states, that's the case. Then
it's
no,
true.
that has nothing to do with the free market.
My dad was the leader of the local AFL-CIO affiliate in Bradenton, Florida when I was growing up, and they didn't have to deal with that union, but they did because that's where they got the most
best
skilled
employees.
people. Yeah. And that's kind of what you have to deal with when it's a bunch of skilled labor. I don't understand unskilled labor unions very much
Right, so what
either.
you're talking about is more like an employment agency where they gather up the skilled people, which is, by the way, specifically exempt from all the monopoly laws. That's a different service than the entity that goes around committing violence against businesses until they get enough vacation time. They're both called unions, but those are two. And maybe in the free market there'd be a thing called unions that was just an employment agency, and that's fine. But that's not what anybody's talking about when they, brought you 2 weeks vacation time, 40-hour work week, 8-hour days.
Right. I mean, I don't think I've ever worked in a job where they said, this is your vacation time. I've never worked in a job and said, this is how much sick time you get. I've never worked at a job like that at all. I've always worked in a position where, you can take off vacation if you've got your job handled or whatever. If your tasks are finished, you can take a sick day if you're sick, but you're not going to get paid. Not that I say that I support that necessarily, because you have to offer different job titles, different benefits in order to get the results that you want to get.
And so once I worked up to that, I got some of those things in some jobs, but when I could not demand that on a market level, the state telling my employers that I had to get those things was not conducive to anything that benefited me.
But they do that in
just
Italy,
in the way.
and they do it in Europe. How come we shouldn't do that here? It sounds so great.
Europe has unemployment.
Lots and lots of unemployment. And I remember reading stories about Spain where and France where employers are like, we're not hiring anybody. We can't afford to take the risk. It's not that we don't need employees. We desperately need employees. It's just that we can't grow because if we bring on some schmo who can't do the job or is not going to do the job, I can't get rid of them.
Yeah. And I had posted earlier today on Facebook, and the minor labor laws were particularly annoying to me, but I posted this on Facebook earlier today. Shout out to Redacted and I put Redacted on Facebook, for hiring me for an illegal amount of hours and illegal times of day at my then age, and to Redacted for hiring me when I was under 21 for delivery jobs that you legally had to be 21 for.
This is you saying this?
Yeah. Bills don't go away just because rich leftists have feels about it. Hashtag statute of limitation, bitches.
Thank you, Redacted.
Yeah. If these people had not hired me illegally, I'd have had a problem. And especially with the minor labor laws, was just really annoying because they were really paternalistic about it. Like, we're going to help. Technically,
you need to have a break every 2 hours.
Technically, I wasn't committing a crime. I was considered a victim of a crime, which is just more annoying
the employer
to me.
is the so-called criminal.
Yeah.
But let's point out that if it was if you were doing agricultural work, which is likely significantly more arduous than whatever it was that you were doing, they wouldn't have had to pay you hourly. They could have just paid you by the bushel, and then they don't need to give you any time off at all, because those jobs are generally done by Mexicans and migrant workers and Central Americans, so we don't care about those things. Also, child actors don't have to go by those rules, and there's all kinds of...
There are special rules for them. They still have to have breaks and their time limits and stuff.
I best I can tell, there aren't very many child labor laws when it comes to agriculture at all. I couldn't tell you when it comes to child acting rules, but I can say that if you have your own child...
Well, there's unions involved in acting, so you better believe there's
if you make your own child... Believe me that the children working in America, a very small percentage of them are children actors. Let's talk about the little Mexican kids that are out there huffing giant bushels of tomatoes, and that's the real issue here. Plus the fact that we're talking about people being able to put their own kids to work. So you can have your own kids
so you could just like have slave labor, and that's cool. But if you pay them, yeah, and so there was time limits of what times a day I could work. But then once I showed up, if I showed up when it was legal for me to start working, then I had to be gone by a certain time, so I couldn't get enough hours. Yeah, if these people hadn't been breaking the law, like, I still had bills. You can't legislate the bills away. Like, gas still costs money, electricity still costs money, rent still costs money. So, you know.
Yeah, it's frustrating to be a teenager who actually wants to work because the system is built against that. Many jobs won't even hire you until you're 16 because, and even then, there's still requirements.
Or a lot of jobs won't hire you until you're 18.
Right. But if you're 14, you're legally able to work in most places, but most people won't hire you because the arduous requirements.
And at 14 and 15, there was, where I was at the time, you had to take a break like every 3 hours.
Right.
So you could only work 6 hours a day or 7 hours
you
a day.
You can't work on a school night. There's just all kinds of stupid requirements in there. And it's like, if you want to work, it is the hardest thing in the world to do in the legal working world. Now, of course, you could always go out and do some sort of entrepreneurial thing and nobody can, in theory, stop
that
you
might
from
have been
doing
a little
that.
bit more difficult in Louisiana when you needed licenses and college degrees for everything, but in most places, I understand that that's not the case.
Yeah, I went to work at 12 years old. I didn't have any trouble with that because I just never cared about these rules.
Well, apparently your employer also did not care either.
Well, interesting that he, is a tried and true Democrat, but nonetheless, I still talk to him. He's a good friend of mine. Right, because he always treated me well, and I would never have, I was working at a magazine store. It's not like I was dying. Well, it's a comic book store.
Yeah, you weren't going to starve to death
magazines.
or drop out from heat exhaustion from, no.
Yeah, I mean, just, collating comics, putting them in alphabetical order. I'm sure that it's real rough work there.
Let people work, let the market decide the conditions, and that can include unions. That can include people coming together and bargaining for better working conditions voluntarily through market pressure. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Deagle, MD, AAEM, ACAM, A4M, of NutriMedical.com, and a consultant providing email advice free on advanced protocols for your optimized wellness and advanced technologies to heal and regenerate you. You can contact us at NutriMedical.com, that's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. You get free email starter protocols of our top medical-grade nutraceuticals, initial testing, and recommendations for your own primary doctor to do, as well as recommendations to give you an idea of a consultation and a full protocol to try to help you regenerate your tissues, heal naturally without the use of toxic polypharmacy. I can send test kits to you as well anywhere in the world and provide you recommendations for referral of specialty clinics worldwide. So contact me, Dr. Bill Deagle, at NutriMedical.com. That's NutriMedical.com or 888-212-8871.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally. Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
If you're a
Democrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
All right, this is a special edition of the Edgington Post Show, and this is Mark Edge. I was having a conversation with my wife today. Say hello, Laura.
Hello, Laura.
And we were talking about debt. And I have many times over the years realized that my life was improved dramatically, Laura, by the addition of you. And specifically, you have a strong skill set when it comes to managing debt, managing money. When I met you, you were making okay money, but you were clawing your way out of debt.
Right.
I, on the other hand, was making pretty good money. Well, I guess at the time you met me, I was kind of in a mess. But shortly thereafter, I was making pretty good money. But I would spend like there was no tomorrow.
Right.
So what was I spending on lunch?
Oh my God, it was ridiculous. And it doesn't sound that bad right now when I say it, because this is
pricing's a little higher.
15 years ago. And
right. So when did we meet? What year?
2003.
Okay.
And Mark threw a fit that I wouldn't give him more than $100 a week for lunch.
Yeah. I was used to spending $20, $25 on lunch. I wouldn't eat out at dinner usually, but I would eat out at lunch. So I considered that to be the big deal. And, I'm an advertising executive for an important advertising venue here in Sarasota, Florida. I need to be able to, I don't know exactly what. It's not like I was taking clients to lunch. I was just eating out and spending a lot.
Right, exactly. It wasn't, because if you took clients out to lunch, it was expensed. Like you had gift cards and things that the company would give you.
Yeah.
So this was just Mark's personal lunch.
That's pretty accurate. So I was out of control, and you had sort of experienced that to some extent prior to meeting me, but you'd made some kind of decision to fix it.
Yeah. So I think the worst part of it for me was, I had gone to college. I'd gotten my degree. I was working in my field, which was a really low-paying field. And
what was that? Well, people want to know.
Substance abuse counseling, and I did better once I went to vocational rehabilitation counseling, but substance abuse counseling and those kinds of health services kind of counseling things are notoriously very low paying, and entry level even more so. So directly out of college, working full time, working a lot in a kind of stressful environment, still living at home, paying minimal rent, and still feeling like I can't get out of debt.
What were you spending your money on?
Mostly probably travel.
Okay. You like to scuba dive.
I like to scuba dive.
What's the title? You're some scuba diver above scuba diver. What is that title?
I used to be a dive master, and I used to be an instructor. But at the time you met me, that was in the past. I probably spent more money on a leisure vacation travel to scuba dive, which is not a cheap hobby, than I should have. And so that was probably where my debt basically came from. That in school, when I was going through school.
Yeah, I will almost have that.
It'll be paid off this year.
Yeah, your student loan will be paid off this year. You haven't worked at a 9-to-5 job, paying job since Jack was born.
Not 9 to 5. No, I've worked part-time when Jack was little, but I haven't worked full-time in a long time.
You made a decision to not be in debt anymore.
Yeah, so the hardest part of this, and this was before I knew Mark and before I really had much of a concept of freedom. Now, since knowing Mark and living with him for 12 years or whatever it is, 13, I don't know. And I have more of a appreciation for freedom in a financial sense.
I think freedom is almost entirely financial.
Right.
Because you can do anything you want if you've got enough money.
Right. And to me, that's a really big sense of freedom for me. Right. Because when I don't feel like my finances are in control, I don't feel free. I don't feel free to live the way I want to live. It consumes me mentally and emotionally, and I'm not free in those ways.
And I was going through bankruptcy about the time I met you.
Right.
And I was having a terrible time surrounding it. I just felt out of control, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to make the right decisions or anything like that.
And I think that's the worst part, and that's kind of where the turning part for me was, because I know that I had a period where, like I said, I was working full time, I was living at home paying minimal rent, I was, doing all this stuff and still feeling like I couldn't get out of debt. And what it really came down to for me was getting real about what I owed and what I made. And until you can really look at the black and white of that and get real with yourself about it and know I can't afford this and I can't afford that. Until I pay off my debt, I can't afford to do these things or buy those things or have those things or whatever it was. Until the reality of that, until you grasp the reality of your situation, you'll always feel out of control. But it's hard because it's scary, because when you feel out of control, you don't even want to look at it. You want to avoid it. You want to deny it. I know many, many people that I know that, just keep in that cycle because the reality of it is too scary.
It's certainly frightening. I didn't come to these realizations nearly as quickly as you did. You made a decision not to increase your debt, to not create any more debt.
Right.
And then you went about paying it off. And I don't remember when we got married if you brought much debt to the relationship.
I brought a little bit of debt to the relationship. I was still in the process of paying off some old debt. And obviously I still had my student loan.
I was basically wiped clean by the bankruptcy.
By the bankruptcies.
Except for my mortgage.
Right, exactly.
And we always looked at mortgage debt differently than we looked at consumer debt.
Right, exactly.
When I think you should. At the very least, you live in the debt, as opposed to the consumer debt, which is immediately depreciating. You buy a TV for $500, you sell it at the pawn shop for $100.
If you're lucky, yeah.
It's gone. Furniture, you buy a couch for $1,500, and you can't give it away on the side of the road for free.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
exactly.
It's gone. Every time it's gone. So getting real around that really made a big difference. And then for me, I think the turning point, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and so for me to get real about my debt, I really, just a simple thing was I just had to make a spreadsheet. I just had to say, this credit card, this amount, this interest rate, this is the due date, blah, 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 and just put everything out on a spreadsheet. This is my, my rent. This is my car payment. This is my insurance. This is every expense, and put it down and see it in black and white for it to be real for me.
And for me, the turning point, I think, was about the time that Jack was born. I had built the house in which we lived for a long time, 10 years. You were stay-at-home mom at that point, and you were going to be. That was the decision we made.
Right.
We decided
if we're having a kid,
one of us is staying here, and it's not going to be me. And I just didn't want to do that. You really wanted to do that, and so it made perfectly good sense. And I just didn't want strangers raising my kid. I wanted my kid raised by loving parents. Made more sense to me. But I then got to see how you would day in and day out. You worked as much as I did, if not more.
Hourly, yes.
and considering all the childcare and everything like that. But you made the meals, and that saved us a huge amount on me going out and
well, and also we kind of moved. You know, when we first moved here, we were living really close to downtown. It was really convenient to just hop over here or hop over there and get something to eat.
Right.
Where when we built our house, we're like, 7 to 10 miles away from town, and it's not as easy. So that really changed our lifestyle a lot.
Right, and Jack was born in 2008, and the economic downturn, at least for advertising, was different than it was. So the economic downturn happened like 2006 is when they call the recession or whatever, but businesses were advertising into that.
Right.
And then they just dropped off.
Right.
And so about the time Jack's born, ad revenues going down, not up. And that was pretty scary. That's really scary when you're making all your money based on ads. And I struggled and all that stuff. So we were making a middle class income, but it was probably a lower middle class.
Right. I was just going to say, I don't know if I'd even go middle class.
And lower middle class is a different class. So there's five quintiles. There's the poor, lower middle class, upper middle class, and then upper class. And then upper class is split into divisions, too. Oh, if you guys can hear the cat noises, that is Sybil, and she wants to get petted now, but she's liable to turn on Laura at any point, because she's not named Sybil for nothing. At some point, I remember you really got down to brass tacks. You were doing well as far as managing money and stuff, but you read Dave Ramsey's book.
Yeah, so an interesting thing of, I had already implemented some of these things in just coming to my own realization. And then Mark had given me Dave Ramsey's book.
To hear the rest of this great interview, go to archives.freetalklive.com and get the MP3. Look for today's date there and download or just listen on the web. archives.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website FPP.